you are not going to be able to replace yourself. Your business is going to be far too dependent on you. And you're also going to be very frustrated when you do bring people on that you're still doing the same thing. I wonder if you can relate to that right now, where you have a team and perhaps they're just not getting it, or they're just not operating to a standard that you would expect them to be at.
It's really important we use this process. So that's what it is, that's what it does, that's why it works. In terms of results, when we do this, we notice that we're able to accelerate staff members extraordinarily fast through a learning process so that we can get you, myself, the owner, really freed up and create a whole lot more leverage. If you've got a team of health professionals working for you, you must adopt this tip. Let's check it out. Super excited for today's episode. Today, this is specifically targeted at you if you've got a team or you're about to bring on a team. If you're about to bring on a team, this is going to help you in advance. If you've got a team right now, this is going to really help you to level up everybody's performance. Super excited. I've also got here with me Dave McDonald, the Emperor of cleverness,
upgraded,
and handsomeness. Also our general manager and head of coaching here at Practice Acceleration. Dave, welcome.
Woohoo, thank you so much for having me again. Love this. We're here back in the hot seat for another 10-minute tactic.
Another 10-minute tactic,
yeah. This is a new style in which we're giving you fast, effective, and efficient tactics that you can implement right now. And this is especially for you, as Tristan said, if you have a team and you want to make your business less dependent on you.
Absolutely love this. So today we are talking about the instant replay formula. The IRP, the IRP, instant replay formula. Oh, IRF, IRF, instant replay formula. So we'll talk about what it is in a moment, but like, why is this important firstly?
Yeah, well, where it fits, just so you know, is, as you know, Practice Acceleration method is about 3 key areas of your business in order for you to scale up to $1 million practice and beyond, which is all about attracting leads, filling your books, and scaling your business. Now, this fits
What happens when you get that, by the way?
You become very clever, very handsome.
Freedom of money, freedom of time, freedom of the old headspace.
Which is very, very important, and it's the journey that we're all on, because without it, what's the point in getting into business if it's going to take up all your time, all your money, and all of your headspace as well?
Yeah. So where does the instant replay formula fit into this?
Yeah. So as we spoke about attracting leads, filling your books, and scaling your business, this fits into category number 3, which is scaling your business. Now, inside of scaling your business, there are 3 key elements that unpack this. Number 1, it's about leveraging talent. Number 2, it's about systemizing operations. And number 3, it's about finding founders flow. So what we're going to dive deep in today is this is a tactic and practice that can help you leverage talent. Why does this even matter? Because without it, you are not going to be able to replace yourself. Your business is going to be far too dependent on you.
Yes.
And you're also going to be very frustrated when you do bring people on that you're still doing the same thing. I wonder if you can relate to that right now, where you have a team and perhaps they're just not getting it, or they're just not operating to a standard that you would expect them to be at.
You know, and that's the thing, isn't it? Like, I hear a lot of our clients say to us when they join the program, they're like, I think my team just don't get it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's what they say. That's the actual language, right? So if you're watching this, you're listening to this, thank you. Make sure you click like and click share. Let's make sure we get our podcast into the ears, into the eyes of everyone out there in the world, because we know it's going to help level up everybody in business. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, hey, my team just don't quite get it, or you want them to be accelerating their learning faster than they are, or you want them to be getting better results. And the whole point of that is, remember, leveraging talent, right? This is going to make a massive difference. So it's called the instant replay formula. So let's talk about what it is. And what is it? Well, firstly, if you think about a sporting match, right? Like you're into you call it football, I call it soccer. You're into the soccer, yes. The football,
into the football soccer.
Yeah, you're into the game with the round ball.
Yeah.
All right. So you're into the round ball game, soccer.
Yes.
The world game,
soccer.
Yeah,
the world game.
So you're into that. Think about instant replay, right? Like if you're watching a game back and you want to give your team feedback, it's like you watch this replay tape.
Yeah.
And they can see it quickly and they're like, oh, cool. Like they can see what's working.
Yeah. And they freeze it down and they highlight people and they draw arrows. And even sometimes now you get the pundits and the commentators going to big fancy screens and going, let me just break down exactly what they did. Where they were positioned. What did they do well? What did not do well? What was this? What
exactly.
Was that?
So when you have that ability to play back the tape, right? It's like when you look at what went well.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, if we know what goes well, how do we create more of that? And we're like, what didn't go well? We're like, oh, how do we prevent that from happening? What needs to change now at training this week?
Yes.
Right? And it's like, what's missing as well? So like, what went well, we can do more of. What didn't go well that we can solve. And what's missing that we need to go to that next level in that game, you know? And like, cool, that's going to give the manager of the team all these ideas for training, but it also gives the players context.
Yeah.
It's like, I can see that.
And perhaps what attributes they need to be in. Like, in other words, in order for you to do more of that, it's like, who do they need to be? So if it's a halftime analysis, it's like, who do they need to become in the second half? Who do they need to be?
That's right.
Maybe it's a bit more adventurous, a bit more courageous, a bit more bright, whatever that may be. I think that's an important
Or taking
point.
more opportunities and so on. So what is the instant replay formula? Well, what it is, it's a system that we use with our team here at Practice Acceleration. We've got an incredible onboarding, training management, and performance leveling up program for our staff here. And we also share it with our clients of the Practice Acceleration program, which we call the Practice Profit Machine, right? So here's what it does. Like, when we're working with a client, they're training up a team member. So imagine yourself, you're training up a team member. You give them a task to do. You know, it could be anything. It could be with front of staff, or like how to improve their conversion on the phone, for example. Or maybe they're working on a chat sequence to improve the conversion of leads from Meta, from Facebook, or from the Instagrams, from the gram, baby.
Yep.
So it could be working on anything, right? If it's a practitioner, it could be working on how they engage a new client, or how they go through the sales process, which is ultimately rebooking, or it could be selling high-ticket dental if you're a dentist, or cosmetic surgery if you're a cosmetic surgeon, and so forth. But what it looks like is we've given them a task, and then we go through and we do an instant replay.
Yeah,
the instant replay formula. So that's what it is. It's an instant replay formula. You give someone a task to do it, they go and they execute it, and then we give instant replay of that so that they can improve their performance. So what does it do?
Well, it's a framework, and it's a framework that allows the learner, the person...
Why are frameworks important?
Because frameworks make the brain work, because it's just guesswork or hard work. And we don't want it to be left to guesswork chance or hard work where you're obviously having things too dependent on you. So it's a framework, which means that the person that you've given the task to, the learner in this stage, has a framework in which to analyze resourcefully what just happened, how to go for an instant replay. And what the beautiful thing of this is I know where your mind's going, Dave, Tristan, I don't have the time to sit down and go after them. I don't have the time.
You need to make time.
You don't need that, because this is the thing. The power of how it works with our team is we're connected with them through multiple channels, whether it be text, whether it be a call, whether it even be our Slack channel, whatever it may be. So in other words, what happens is the learner can then dissect and go through this framework by giving answers, and can send it back to us so that when we can review in our own time and then provide feedback. Sometimes there's a wonderful opportunity, Tristan, where we have one of our one-on-ones, what we call a 20. That's a
20-minute.
A 20-minute one-on-one.
And the 20.
And we can even perhaps give you that framework in a different podcast episode. But a 20 is where we sit down one-on-one and we actually do some training and development. Perhaps that time might align. But the idea is we're constantly using the instant replay method daily, multiple times a day, because our team members know exactly how to dissect exactly what they've just done in a very resourceful way.
Exactly. So here's why it works. It works because we've given someone a task to do, an activity to do. We're replaying it very, very quickly, which means it's fresh in their mind. Okay? So here's something interesting. I'm going to go off track. So
off-piste.
Yeah.
Off-piste.
Off-piste. And you'll know this to be true because with Alice and your wife coming up as well with what she's doing professionally. So here's what's like. We know if there's a car accident, okay, the police need to interview the participants of that car accident very quickly, okay? If they interview them the next day, it starts to become very unreliable. You know why? Because the way in which people participated in that crash, their recurrence of the events becomes altered, even just overnight. And we're not talking about dodgy people trying to lie about it. We're like, their literal understanding, their experience of what has happened is different.
Becomes diluted.
Becomes very much diluted. So the reason why this works is we're able to do an instant replay of what's just happened very, very quickly.
Yes.
Okay? Another reason why it works is we ask some critical questions.
Nice.
Okay? Those critical questions are objective-based, and there's also some emotive-based in it. Now, in the absence of objectivity, all we have is
subjectivity.
And then we drive to emotionality. Now, we know that our feelings are not to be trusted, right? So it's really important we use this process. So that's what it is, that's what it does, that's why it works. In terms of results, when we do this, we noticed that we're able to accelerate staff members extraordinarily fast through a learning process so that we can get you, myself, the owner, really freed up and create a whole lot more leverage. Now, we've only done this over 3,000 times with practice owners globally over almost the last 20 odd years, and we're doing it with 450 practice owners right now across Australia, New Zealand, UK, US, and Canada. None of this is to impress you, but it's to impress upon you. This works. This absolutely works. Only 100% of the time. It's a good statistic.
It does.
Let's give an example.
Yeah.
So if we were to unpack it, what happens in the instant replay formula, the earth?
Yeah. So are we doing this? Maybe one of our learners is just, let's say we do it in a very practical way. They're sending a voice note.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're sending voice notes. First of all, they've got the framework. And the framework will be something around, what did I do? What worked? What could be better? What didn't work? What could be better? What my focus is for next time?
Yeah.
Who I need to be for that.
Exactly.
So, for example, if I'm coming back to you, I'll be like, hey, Tristan, thank you so much for sending me the task of the 5-minute advantage, which is another podcast, by the way. What worked is I definitely got out within 5 minutes of time, and I was able to speak to the new leads that are coming through. What could have been done better, as I definitely could have related back to what they actually took. I think I jumped a little bit too far ahead of myself. So definitely to improve, I need to just slow it down, take my time. And as a result of that, I think I'm going to be able to connect better. So my focus for next time is going to be making sure that I really point to the reference of what it is that they downloaded. And I'm also going to make sure that I connect to them next time. So who I need to be is I need to be a lot clearer, and I need to be a little bit more determined in what I'm doing. But hey, thanks so much. The tips that you gave me beforehand really made a difference to me. It's a bit of an aha moment. So thanks so much.
You're most welcome. Hey, how cool is that?
Yeah.
So let's give another example, right? Let's say that I'm a practice owner, and I'm training a team member in how to run the initial consult.
Ooh, nice.
All right. So if you guys are watching and you want your team member to do better and to engage your patients more and to make sure that they fill their own books and the practice does a whole lot better as well, then this would be of massive interest to you. So after they've run the initial consult using what we call the conversion consult version 2.0 framework, which is a 9-box grid which we use to get anyone, regardless of their experience or their confidence level, to rebook themselves solid in a way where patients absolutely freaking love it.
Game changer.
Absolute game changer, right? Do that, you'll increase your revenue by 43%, just by using that alone. Anyway, I'm off track. I'll come back. I'm back on track. I'm back on track right now. So when your team members runs the initial consult, the conversion consult formula, it's like this. Dave, what worked? What
What was X?
Insert magic. So what worked? Cool. What difference did that make to you? Right? I love that question as well.
What difference? Yeah, I was able to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, great. Cool. And then we go through what didn't. And we go through it, blah, 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 blah.
Felt this, I didn't do this.
Cool. Perfect. What do you need from me in order to get even better at it next time? Blah, 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 blah. Stuff. So it's like, what worked? What difference did it make to you? Right? Then we'll go through what didn't? What do you need to do differently next time? And then I love your last question. Who do you need to get?
So who do you need to bring? What do you need to bring more of? What element of you could you bring more of, or what element of you could you show up that hasn't shown up before? Just ideas.
This is the instant replay formula.
Absolutely.
So the next question we ask is, when can you do it?
Love that. Why is that important?
Because we need to make sure we've actually got a planned action step in order to take those lessons we've just learned from the instant replay formula and actually apply them.
Yep.
So watch this. When can you do it? How will I know you've done it?
I'm going to do it.
Created a feedback loop.
I'm going to do it in X time, and once I've done it, I'll send you a voice message just to let you know I've done it. Thank you so much.
Perfect. How good is that? That's the instant replay formula. So if you've got a team, you want them to perform at a higher level, this is one of the most vital tactics that you can use to really level them up by using the EARTH, the instant replay formula. Absolute game changer. Our clients love it. It's so easy to apply, right?
It is. It takes seconds, minutes. You'll see changes in hours, not days.
Absolutely. And it creates a much greater level of connection between you and your team. It means that as a culture, you're growing together and you're enhancing personal development as a team. Guys, super appreciate you being here. Do us a favor, click like, click share, get our podcast into the ears, into the eyes of everybody out there that is a practice owner. But by doing this, when you do this, we are going to change the lives of all the practice owners globally. We're going to make sure that your staff have a way better experience. We're going to make sure that your patients have a better experience, and we're going to be leveling up the level of healthcare globally. Thank you so much for listening or watching. Appreciate you. Click like and share. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao. Arrivederci. Buona sera. Bowie.